We need to talk about the 55 billion elephant in the room. You already know who EA is, so I'm not going to waste your time with a history lesson. But EA is going private in a historic 55 billion buyout led by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, also known as PIF. Because, as of me writing this script, yesterday the EU just cleared the deal over antitrust concerns, and once it closes, the Public Investment Fund will own a massive 93.4% of EA. But the issue here isn't that PIF are buying them out, it's how we can expect EA to handle the buyout. Because this is a leveraged buyout, which just means that the buyers are taking out a massive loan to make the purchase, and after the purchase is done, that debt is going to be transferred directly into EA's balance sheet. Overnight, EA will be left carrying over 20 billion in acquisition related debt. And so, you might be wondering, how does a publisher pay off billions in high interest debts every year? Well, that's not really a question, because it's something EA is already known for, and it's aggressive monetization. If you play a live service game like EAFC, Madden, or Apex Legends, brace yourself, because when an investment fund takes on this kind of debt, immediate cash flow becomes the only metric that matters to them. Much like what happened with Toys R Us back in 2005. A private equity loaded them with over 5 billion in debt, and instead of innovating or adapting, hundreds of millions in revenue went straight to paying bank interest every single year until the company collapsed under its own weight. So expect the monetization we already complain about to get cranked to a whole nother level. We are likely looking at changes at season passes, higher base game prices, and an even heavier reliance on things such as shop offers to squeeze out every drop of revenue possible. And games that don't generate them the extra cash they need will be put on end of life. But the most terrifying part of this buyout is what it means for single player games. Because studios under the EA umbrella, like BioWare and Respawn Entertainment, thrive on long development cycles, and high budget single player narratives usually take 5 to 6 years and hundreds of millions of dollars to build. And when you're in a 20 billion debt environment, those games are massive financial liabilities because you can't pay down quarterly debt with a game that won't release until 2030. Historically, post buyout companies do a few things to cut costs. We can expect heavy layoffs, which are happening just as recent as March and June of this year, where on both occasions an unknown number of staff has been laid off, with 12 separate posts coming from individuals impacted by the June layoffs. Additionally, expect studio closures for teams that don't hit ridiculous profit margins, and a complete aversion to creative risks. EA leadership has already been talking up generative AI to cut headcount. I'm talking to you, Plants vs. Zombie. And this death pressure will likely accelerate that shift. Innovative, experimental IPs will be shelved in favor of safe, guaranteed moneymakers. This deal is setting a dangerous precedent. The largest leveraged buyout in history is going to saddle one of gaming's giants with the kind of debt that destroys creative freedom. The players and the developers are the ones who will ultimately pay the price. And so, I want to know what you guys think. Are you worried about the future of franchises like Mass Effect and Battlefield? Let me know down in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Dev out.